What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today doing something a little different. My buddy dropped off his FRS and he wants to make it a drift car. It's already mostly there. It's got angle kit, you know. We'll get into a little more of that a little later, but it needs some front camber to actually utilize everything it can do. It's also gonna get the offset rack spacer, or the offset tie rod to rack thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. Some extended tie rods. But what I'm doing today is, and I already started, and then I realized, oh, I could put this on YouTube. But I'm gonna extend these lower control arms with some metal. Gonna cut it right here, extend it, and then that way the front could have more camber than you could actually adjust into this thing and make it more usable. This thing is, you know, it's used, but I think it'll work pretty good. These look to be pretty fun drift cars from what I've seen, so I'm looking forward to getting this thing working a little better for my guy. Look at that, we got a little turbo going on there. See how long this engine lasts, huh? Silly old Subarus. But yeah, I'm gonna do some measuring. I'm gonna have to go and get some metal to extend that. So I'll just, you know, pick up and show you guys where I'm at as I'm doing stuff. I'll hopefully remember to put all this in, but you know, we'll see how it goes. All right, well, I grabbed some scrap practice metal that I've been holding on to forever, and I think I could use similar to this size to box this in, or not box it in, but to fit inside here to cut and extend and get a nice safe strong weld going right here. I might also put a little strip over the top and along the sides. I just I want to make sure this thing's stout. I don't want my buddy going out there and having a dang control arm come apart. So I think Boost and we are gonna hop in the old Supra, go get some coffee, go get some metal, and see where we go from there. Alright, so I think I have it marked where I want to cut it. It's straight with this edge, but obviously this edge is bent, so it might look kind of crooked. Yeah, I'm not sure if I actually want to cut it there, or if I want to try and bring the line more like that. I think that's what I'll do real quick. Alright, so I erased my line and redrew it. I'm gonna cut right here and then space it out probably about 1.25 inches, and then weld some metal in there. Hopefully it goes as planned and I'm not just buying this guy a control arm. Alright, I've been toying with different ways of cutting this. Obviously I could cut off wheel, but then I might have a jagged edge because my wheels aren't big enough. I tried to fit it up in the chop saw. There's just no square way to do it. So I think I'm going to use the portaband and just cut right down through it. I think that'll work pretty well. Alright, so now that that's cut and I kind of cleaned up the edges a little bit, I'm going to, since I'm worried it didn't cut very straight, and if I just extend it, it'll kind of, I mean, it should be fine. But what I'm going to do anyways is I'm going to cut this angle so that way I can lay this on here and run it across the flat part of this and the flat part of this. That way I know for sure it's in the exact same plane as it was previously. It's just going to be extended farther out. And then I think I might bend some 1.25 to go over the top of it to just kind of close it completely off. We'll see if that plan actually comes to fruition. First thing I gotta do is cut a couple 4-inch pieces off this angle iron. Alright, so my idea with the angle iron didn't work, just because this isn't perfectly 90, this is way off from 90. And then with it angling in, it just wasn't going to line up the way I wanted it to. So I bent this piece of 1.25 wide. I'm going to need that. And then I'm just going to tack it into this side. Obviously, it's not going to have the same humps that the control arm actually has. But I'm going to tack it in here. And then, let me get this set back up how I had it. And then once that's tacked on, I can tack on this piece and then square up the underside of it, and then with the little bit of gap it has, I'll have better penetration ideally, and I'll be able to brace the bottom side of this a little bit better. So I guess for now I'll get to tacking this up and seeing how it looks. Alright, so I got it tacked in place, and now I'm just checking. It looks like it's all on the same plane, same enough plane anyways. I mean, camber's going to be different. Most of it's just, you know, you don't want to jack caster around side to side by putting this at an angle like that or like that. But I believe everything, that's actually nice. That's really squared up. So I think now I'll just weld this in and then figure out what I'm going to do on the bottom. But it should be freaking stout. I flipped it over and figured I'd show you guys just what I was talking about a little bit, how that gap gave that full penetration. So we got the bead on the backside, bead on the backside. Sides, like I mentioned before, weren't hot as they should be, but it'll hold. So now I'll figure out something to put in here, just because, you know, overkill's better. Overkill's underrated. We don't want this falling apart during the drift event or anything, so let's get her strong. Alright, so I took this scrap rectangle tube, cut it in half, and I think it's going to lay in here as an inside brace perfectly fine. I'm going to drill some holes so I can plug weld it to the control arm. Then I'll weld it here, and I'll take clamps and kind of force bend it into shape and then weld it along the sides. Should be nice and strong. Alright, I got some plug weld holes and cleaned up most of the surface rust. So I'm gonna plug these in. Oh, I gotta grind a little bit off the control arm there. And then clean up the edges, clamp it in, fully welded in. All right, well, I got all the plugs welded, and then I got the sides welded up against the ridges of the control arm, and the front and back tied in. So now she's stout. I'm just gonna trim these little edges off, grind them down smooth, and then throw some paint on it, throw it in the car, see how much camber we gain. All right, threw a little bit of paint on. I'm happy with how that turned out. That looks good. That ain't going nowhere. It'll hold strong. So now that I have the left side done, I pulled out the right side lower control arm, and I don't think I'm going to record the whole process. I think I'm just going to do the old YouTube magic that I've seen, you know, where you just... Alright, well, I don't know how that turned out, but I know the control arm turned out good. It's all welded up, solid. That paint's still a little tacky. I painted it while it was still hot, so it'll cure. But it's time to start putting the front end back together. This side's ready to go on, obviously. And we have the offset rack spacers here to fix the, you know, over center, bump steer, whatever. And some extended inner tie rods, because obviously if you extend this, you're not going to have enough tie rod. So now I get to pull these tie rods off, get the offset spacers in there, the inner tie rods on, and we'll see how much camber this thing has and how much angle. Well, I didn't end up recording all the tie rod work, but I put in the GK offset rack spacers cut out for that. This already had a GK angle kit, and I did the replace the inner tie rods and cut them down to size. So now we're gonna set this thing on the ground and see what camber's looking like. See what it looks like at a turnout where it's gonna be, you know, most when it's drifting and stuff. Make sure it's laying flat. So yeah, let me get this thing on the ground. Alright, I think it looks pretty good according to, you know, just iPhone angle finder. It's about 3 degrees negative camber. So that's with the lower control arm spaced 1.25 inches. I kind of wish we would have got 1.5 inches. I think it would have been good. But honestly, for a street / drift car, I bet this is pretty happy as is. So let me turn the wheel and see what we look like when we're, you know, counter steering. Well, obviously the steering wheel doesn't want to stay turned sitting because of caster. It wants to straighten it out. But that's looking pretty flat right there. So I don't know. We'll see how it drives, I guess. I bet it's going to be way better. Alright, well, I took it out for a drive and beat on it a little bit. And it didn't fall apart. So it's ready to go back to the owner and see what he can do with it, I guess. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching it. It was kind of different just because, you know, it wasn't my Supra, but it was fun. It's fun to work on different things and just help people build their drift cars and stuff. So I'm always down for a good side project. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think, what I could have done different, or what might have been a good idea. I don't know. Just let me know what you thought of the video. Like it, comment, subscribe, whatever we're supposed to say here, right? All right, thanks guys.